Hi, it's Malin Johnson with On the Bricks. I'm from Main Street, Guyman, and today I've come down the street and we're going to take a little tour of the Dale Hotel, which is being turned into apartments. With me right now is Jake Mooney, who is one of the owners here at the Dale Hotel. Now, I know it's not called the Dale Hotel now. What's the technical term now?
We renamed it into the Dale Lofts.
Dale Lofts. Mm-hmm. So the other apartment buildings that you have and this are both Dale Lofts?
Correct, yeah. It's all one apartment complex.
Okay, so to tell some of the people from around here a little bit about yourself, can you tell where you're from and how you got involved with Guyman Housing?
We're Daniel Seiler and I are both from Kansas City. We've been doing historic adaptive reuses for several years now. This is our fourth historic building. It was actually first brought to our attention about 4 or 5 years ago when a friend of Sam Fuquay's mentioned it to us. He actually met him, I think, at a golf deal several years ago, and said, you guys ought to look at it. They weren't real interested in historic, mentioned it to us. We have some connections with some, the Seaboard folks that were telling us about the shortage of housing in Guyman, and we thought, well, let's go check it out. And it just so happened that that year, with the way the state funding was working, it made a development here a priority and something that could actually get awarded and passed.
Well, that's good. And I find it kind of ironic that you're from Kansas City, because when the hotel first opened, they touted it in the newspapers as the nicest hotel west of Kansas City, for the cattle baron is what it was said, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, and a lot of the brands from when the hotel was built from surrounding ranchers are actually still down in the travertine flooring that was preserved and be here for a long time. So
and people like that. There used to be a large board that told who the brands went to.
Oh, okay.
Somewhere that is. I don't know where. But can you tell us a little bit about the apartments that are here? How many units there are?
Yeah, there's 45 total apartment units, 12 in the new construction building on the corner, and then 33 here in the historic Dale. They range from 1 to 3 bedrooms.
And how many floors are there?
There's 5 stories in the hotel, 3 stories in the new construction. And the amenities are, there's a small theater room in the basement on the first floor that'll be available for tenants. There's a workout room, computer lab, game room, and then also a kids kind of tot lot area for kids to play in.
So the apartments are for families, single,
families, seniors. It's open to everyone. To everyone. Yeah.
Well, can you show a little bit about this one? I like this apartment. I think it's probably my favorite because it has the windows that face.
Yeah, all the windows end up getting blinds, but this was actually when the hotel was originally built. This used to be part of I believe it was a ballroom that had
a wood
floor.
It was called the Venetian.
Yeah. So this ended up becoming a residential space, but we basically took out the old windows that were here, lined up the mullions behind the fins so that it looks like a continuous piece of glass from the outside. But this unit obviously faces south and west, and then the 2 units to the north of here also have the solid glass look on the wall.
And then the one.
Yes, and then the one on the other side of the building that also is.
It's not solid, but it has
not solid. Yeah, all the windows at some point have a fresh air component or an operable portion of the window to be able to open. Not in this room, but in the bedrooms, there's an operable window that again is hidden behind the fins, so that when you look at it from the outside, you can't tell that there's an operable window there, but there is. So.
Oh, that's nice. Mm-hmm. And this one has the 3 bedrooms right here, correct?
This one is a 2-bedroom.
Oh, 2-bedroom.
And
that's the bath.
Yes, that's the bathroom, and then all the units have washers and dryers, all Energy Star appliances, Energy Star HVAC. the the flooring is all it's basically a laminate wood flooring. It's a commercial flooring. This one's getting redone because there's been some issues and scratches that'll all be fixed up. But we're probably 95% done with the building, and I'd anticipate being 100% done in the next week or two. The developments like this always look like they're 90-95% complete until
For a long time.
until the day they're done. The day before you're 100% done, it still looks like it's 90%, and then all of a sudden it jumps that gap, and you're done and ready to move people in. But I'd anticipate moving in tenants maybe middle of the month. We don't want to rush it. We want to make sure all the T's are crossed and I's are dotted.
Well, we've got Lorena to talk about how to come into it. What I'd like you to tell now is I think it's interesting how many different floor plans there are and how much leeway your architect had, because I think that gives it a lot of uniqueness.
Yeah, the trick with historic buildings is that you have to maintain the historic common areas. So
the integrity.
Common hallways, common entryways, those types of areas. But basically behind those walls is where the architect gets the leeway to decide where a bathroom goes, with the exception of working around existing structural steel columns and those kinds of things that you'll find inside of walls.
And once in a while you see one that's in the...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes it's unavoidable and you get one or two.
But I think that gives it the true loft feel.
It's kind of, that's kind of the idea, was to put something here that feels like it's in a more major metropolitan area, because these types of developments happen a lot more in more urban settings. Without the state funding, the historic tax credit, the state historic tax credit, which actually was just recently passed and made this development possible. There's not a chance that this building could have been redone. So that state historic credit was very, very important. And then also really Vicki McCune, when she was working with the Pretzi, and Kim Meek, them actually going to Oklahoma City to essentially lobby the governor, who oversees a lot of these types of programs. It wouldn't have happened.
Made it work.
Yeah, it wouldn't have happened. And and I don't even know if, with the way the program changes every year, that it could have waited a year. So it was basically the right time, had the right people pushing, and these developments take a whole lot of people to get them to come together. So.
Well, what I want to do is have you and Sean go up and look at one of the other apartments and show them around, so they can see the difference, okay?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right.
This is one of the 2-bedroom units on the west side of the Dale Hotel. It's got the typical kitchen layout with a bar area and a full appliance package. Again, kind of the same flooring in most or all of the units, tall ceilings. So this is an example of one of the beams that was mentioned in the previous conversation. That's one of the historic beams from back when the building was built in 1950. Actually, the way they built this building was very unique, because the concrete floors were actually laid out. They were rolled out in almost, if you can imagine, a mattress that was filled with a concrete mesh material. So they laid out the structural steel, rolled out the flooring, and then wet it down. And when they wet it down, it created the concrete flooring that basically adhered to the rafters that were attached to the structural steel. So it's been a very unique building ever since it was built in 1950 and was a hotel. So that was interesting to work around, run plumbing through when we're drilling new holes for things like plumbing and electrical. But new but not impossible. With most of these historic buildings, you end up running into something new that you haven't seen before. But it's always exciting and different, which is kind of why we have gravitated towards doing historical developments. Like the exterior red tile is actually called vitrolite, and vitrolite was big back in the 50s and 60s when this building was built. And as of today, there's actually only one place you can buy it from, a manufacturer in St. Louis who basically picks it up, as glass shops close around the country or different stashes are found around literally in backs of garages. So we called them up, asked if they had any red. They had red, and they had almost just enough to do the exterior of this building on the first floor that you can see. So this is a hallway on the third floor of the building, and you'll notice that there's actually a significantly larger number of doors in the hallway. There's usually about 20 doors per floor. The doors actually represent a significant portion of the doors represent the historic location of a hotel room. So, for instance, this is a doorway where we used to be able to go into a hotel room, and that's where a hotel room was located. But it's actually just a fake door that shows the location. There's only 7 units per floor, so 7 operable doors that actually go into units. But it's back to that preserving the historic nature of the building. This floor, and actually the 4th and 5th floor, were completely gutted. So we reconstructed the historic hallways based on historic blueprints and what we were able to find on lower floors. So this is one of the 2-bedroom units. It's approximately 1,000 square feet. All of our 2 and 3 bedroom units are larger than 1,000 square feet. I'd say the 2 bedrooms are usually between 1,000 and 1,100 square feet, with the 3 bedrooms being around that kind of 1,300 to 1,400 square feet total. Yeah, this unit's unique because it's got an L-shaped layout, working with kind of the indent on the back of the historic dale. We actually wrapped this unit and the unit to the west of here, around that notch, so you actually have an L-shaped unit, which is unique. This is one of our larger walk-in closets in the property, but all bedrooms have a closet, if not walk-in, usually a double door that provides plenty of storage space. This is an example of one of the bathrooms for the master bedroom. There's also a second bathroom like this in this unit. Most of our 2 and 3 bedrooms have at least 2 bathrooms, and the 1 bedrooms typically only have 1 bathroom. So this is an example of one of the 1 bedrooms at the Dale Hotel. It's got the the wall of windows, and again, pretty large unit for 1 bedroom. I believe this one's closer to 800 square feet, and is right above where the fitness area, the tot lot, really the kind of the kids equipment, and then game room will be situated. So, again, with the kind of the bar, and still not cleaned yet, but like I said, we're kind of 95% there this time next week. I think things will be pretty much buttoned up and ready for residents.
Kim Meek, Guyman City Manager. We're doing our program today here at the Hotel Dale because it's going to be bringing a lot of new housing here into Guyman. And I was wondering if you could give a little background into our housing problems here.
Back in 2013, we commissioned a housing study that revealed that currently we are 500 units short for the number of people who are employed in the city of Guyman. This is due to a 20 to 25% increase in cost to construct out in the Panhandle as opposed to within the city. This is due to the distance that you have to transport materials and the lack of labor available to in the trades. This structure helped close that gap with tax financing, both historical, federal, and state. It provides us with living on Main Street with the new City Hall just a few blocks away. We hope to begin a revitalization of our Main Street and provide housing that's much needed.
So it all ties in together, but this isn't the only housing we have going up right now, currently here.
No, we have the first subdivision that's been built since I believe the early 90s out on Highway 3, and that's being developed by Lance Wendell. It's 30 units, and that project began about 2 years ago when we went to the Oklahoma Housing Financing Agency and asked them for some help in rural Oklahoma, where we have jobs and we have people, but we don't have houses. At the time, all of their incentives were based upon places that really didn't have those situations. We have a very low unemployment rate. So we talked to them and we talked to them and we talked to them some more. and we got them to change their rules on how they loan money and what programs they offer so that we could build houses here in Guyman. We partnered with a developer, Lance Wendell, and with some incentives through our new housing authority that the city developed, we have been able to bring 30 stick-built homes, custom build, that are anywhere between 1,200 and I think 2,500 square feet. They're brick garages, they have everything. So he has already sold 10 of those, and nobody has actually seen a home yet. They've only seen the floor plans. So we're very excited about what that's going to mean for the school attempting to bring teachers in, for the city who needs employees, and just an overall growth for the city.
Well, we really appreciate it, and especially Main Street. We love all these things you have going on Main Street, but it's good for the whole town, what's happening, and I just want to say thank you from all of us. But I think I'm most excited about this building. It's been special for Guyman for a long time.
And empty.
Well, some floors of it, yeah, are just furniture, at least not many people in it, per se. But September 1, 1950 was its formal opening.
And I understand the chandelier is the original.
Yes, wrought iron, it is. And I believe it goes with the iron on the around here too. And the terrazzo floor has brands from around, because when they first built this, it was a place for cattlemen and agriculture men to come together. And the first, I believe at the formal opening, it was $3.75 for the banquet and program. Can't remember who the band was, but they had a dance because the second floor was the ballroom. They called it the Venetian Room.
Venetian Room.
Yes.
Well, I understand that we have a restaurant that's coming in as well, so that will be an addition to Main Street, a place for people to gather as well.
Yeah, it will, and it'll be pretty handy for those who don't want to cook if they live in here. Or if they're at City Hall.
Or if they're at City Hall and it's late and they need a place to eat, that will be a much better option than Frosted Flakes at their apartment. So
yes, it's
looking
a good
forward
idea.
to that.
One of the best parts, I think, about the Dale Hotel, the Dale Lofts, I'll get used to that.
Yeah.
I promise I will, is your restaurant area. Can you give us a few clues about it, although go ahead and leave the secrets.
Yeah, well, it's a new concept that is coming to Guyman. It's going to be really a first-class establishment. It's very unique. It'd be unique in any market, whether it's here or Kansas City or anywhere. It's got basically these great glass walls. It's going to have a really neat bar area, great menu, and the people that are doing this will have more information coming out in about probably 30 days or so to kick it off.
They do have a Facebook.
They do, okay. Well,
They
I'm
do
not
have
gonna.
a Facebook, and they've been showing us they've been trying out a lot of menu items.
Okay.
So they're not your typical
Yeah.
cheeseburger and fries.
Yeah, I'm not going to be the one to give it away, but but I'm really excited about it, and we'll definitely be here for the the open house and to kick things off, because this is really neat. And from a historical component, this is actually used to be a restaurant.
Yes, it did.
And so for it to go back to a restaurant, nearly 65 years later is I think it's pretty special. So
When I moved here, it was a Mexican food restaurant.
yeah, I think it's had a lot of different
I think
uses,
so.
but I think this next one's going to be really something special.
It'll be the best. Now, Kim, I want to talk about what's going to be filmed next week.
Okay.
I mean, next month. So our next month's program is going to be at the new City Hall.
Yay.
And we're going to get a tour of all that, right?
Yes.
Are you going to have everybody dress alike?
Yes.
Oh, probably not.
Probably not.
Probably
No,
not.
That would be very difficult.
Okay. Well, this is a gift from the Main Street Shutterbugs for you to hang in your new City Hall.
Wow.
And this is Arlene Winfrey took this.
It's sunset in my new fire station.
Correct.
That's beautiful. I have the perfect spot for that. Thank you very
Awesome.
much. Tell them I said thank you.
All right. You're welcome. After seeing the Dale Lofts and how they're turning out and how unique the apartments are, There's still construction going on, but we're getting close to the end here. For those who would like to know how to find out about getting an apartment here, we've got Lorena Torres.
Yes, ma'am.
And Lorena is the
Manager
of the Dale
of
Lofts.
the Dale Lofts Apartments.
And to get an appointment with you, what is the number that people call? And tell us slowly.
Okay. We have a Facebook. They can go through Facebook and see the apartments, or they can call us at 651-5926. That's my cell phone number. I can set you up an appointment and we can get you in.
Okay, good. Now, would you mind saying that in Spanish for some that might be easier for?
Okay. Para tener una aplicación para poder rentar estos apartamentos, por favor hábleme al 651-5926.
I don't know if you said everything right or not, so I just have to trust you, don't I?
Yes, you do.
Well, since it's your business, I
Yes.
guess I'll be fine with that.
Okay.
So are you excited about getting to work with this new endeavor?
Yes, I am very excited. It's just something new for me, but I am willing to work 100%. What I do want to specify is that to come in and fill out an application if you want an apartment. We have been getting a lot of phone calls, but they're waiting to see them.
Well, you'll be having it on Facebook
Yes.
when they're open for people, so they
Yes.
just need to watch Facebook.
Yes, Facebook.
check.
But what I suggest, we're taking applications as they come. Whoever comes in first gets if they get approved,
First come, first serve.
first serve, yes. And a lot of people are waiting for them to get done so they can come see them first. After this, hopefully you'll get a good idea of how beautiful these apartments are, and you will come in and fill out an application.
Awesome. And I'm so glad that you're going to be on Main Street with us.
Yes.
Now, will you help me tell about some of the February events that are coming up?
Sure.
All right.
Okay.
I have a handy list here because heaven forbid I can't remember them all. The Chamber of Commerce is having a biggest loser. Now, that's weight. Okay, that's not, the worst basketball player or anything like that. That's all about weight. And there's teams in the community that go together, and we're competing with other towns across the nation. I don't know much about that, but that's a chamber one.
Okay.
And then have you ever been to an Eggs and Issues?
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's a...
But I see I'm on channel 2.
Okay. Well, Eggs and Issues is at 7 o'clock, February 5th. It's the first one of the year. And if there's anything that you have to talk about to the senator or the representative, it's a perfect time to come. Or if you work in any type of business, and you are now, where it depends on government funding, it's good to be there.
Okay.
Because you should always get them to know you before you complain.
Yes, that's right.
I think so. Besides, I believe Apollo's buying our breakfast.
I'll be there.
Yeah. And then the youth center, the youth shelter is having a father-daughter dance at the Presbyterian Church on February 6th.
Yes, I think that is awesome.
And I think it's for 6th grade and under girls, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
So that's a perfect thing. Super Bowl of Caring for the Oaks of Memory Homeless Shelter, February 7th at the Methodist Church. That's at noon, so that's on Super Bowl Sunday.
Super Bowl Sunday.
Go Denver.
Here you go.
And then, oh heavens, we have the Main Street Awards banquet on February 9th at RC Party and More, another
Yes.
Main Street. But blood drive at the Methodist Church on February 11th.
11th.
Also on February 11th is the Excellence in Ag Banquet, and that's at Pickle Creek. That's a chamber event, and if you buy your tickets early, it's $15. If you do it at the door, it's $25.
Okay.
So this is one that if you're slow on the take, it'll cost you. OPSU Rodeo Team has their top hand auction February 13th. That might be just about right. If you're about to get open, maybe you need to get in a whole bunch of those cowboys to come in and help with the final cleanup. And then the Guyman Community Theater starts Man of La Mancha on February 11th. Now, have you ever been to a Guyman Community Theater?
I have not.
Oh, you have got to. This one is Man from La Mancha, which is taken off of the story of Don Quixote, which has got some humor, but it's a musical. It'll be wonderful. They always do a good job.
Okay.
We have a diabetes support group on February 15th. Now, we meet from 6 to 7, and we always have a speaker that helps those with diabetes, stay on track. Then we have an open house at the Panhandle Health Clinic on
Okay.
February 20th.
I would like to go to that one too.
Yeah, that's a nice place. It's going very well. They're taking in a lot more patients than was originally expected this early, so it's quite wonderful.
Good.
It's quite wonderful. Then the last thing I wanted to tell about is on February 22nd. We have a Main Street seminar. It's just we have a speaker coming talking about options with your retirement fund, because if your retirement fund is changing over or you're about to retire, you have different things you can do. So now we don't need to go, because I don't think either one of us gets to retire.
Not soon, no. We still got a long ways to go.
We got things to do and people to see. don't you?
Exactly. We got to take care of this apartment, see?
You gotta get it going. All right. Well, I want to
you.
thank you so much,
Thank
and
you.
thanks for welcoming us in here today, because I
Thank
know
you.
you're all busy and working,
Yes.
and it was good.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.